Welcome everyone. This is Yoga for the Sensitive Soul, and my name is Christie Rosen. I'm a yoga teacher, wellness coach, and author specifically for highly sensitive people. And today our class is going to focus on releasing anxiety through our practice. So to start, we're going to find a comfortable seated position. If you happen to have a blanket or a block to sit up on, you could do that. You could also choose to sit in a chair or even lean your back against a wall. So I'd like you just to feel stable, comfortable, yet upright. And so a little bit different in our opening practice here. Usually we close the eyes. Today we're going to keep the eyes open. So we're going to do a practice called orienting, which is a really great way to calm anxiety and regulate the nervous system. So orienting is going to involve 3 steps, and the first is to feel the body in space. So I'd like you to feel your legs, your hips, connected to the ground or the prop. So just feel where your body meets the earth. And that's all you have to do, just feel the body. It doesn't seem like much, but it can be a challenge. So that's step 1. So we're grounding into our body, into our space. Step 2 is to scan the environment. So very mindfully and slowly, I want you to look around your space, and this is why we have the eyes open, and find something in your space to focus on. Maybe you see a plant, or a book, or a chair. Whatever it is, just stare at that thing as though you've never seen it before. So you're really curious. What does this look like? What are the shapes? Colors? What kind of energy does it have to you? And see if you can focus on that object while also remembering that first step of feeling your body against the earth. So you're doing 2 things at once. You're feeling your body in this moment, in this space, and you're seeing the environment. And you might even nod at what you're looking at, just giving it a gentle, slow nod with bringing some flow into the system. Nodding yes, it's always a nice, very gentle thing to do, to just allow where you are, to find a feeling of safety, not resisting. And then you're going to now turn your head really slowly. So we're moving very, very slowly, and find something else to look at and see if you can still feel your body while you're looking at that next thing. You might nod again. And now the third step will add to this. So it's 3 things. You're feeling your body, you're looking at something with intention in your environment. And the third step is you're going to feel your breath. Nervous system lingo, this is called multitasking awareness. It's an orienting practice with multitasking awareness. It's a different way of thinking about multitasking than we may normally do. You're feeling your body, your breath, and you're seeing the environment. So continuing like that, if you want to keep moving your gaze, you're welcome to, but I recommend that you move very slowly and not too often. And so what we're doing with this orienting practice is we're cultivating a felt sense of safety in our bodies and safety in the environment. So as highly sensitive people, we take in so much information from the environment and we process it deeply. And this can lead to us having a bit more anxiety, maybe than average. I know I have dealt with a lot of anxiety ever since I was young. So when we're having anxiety, we're taking ourselves out of the present moment and into this future that we're worried about, that we can't actually do anything about because we're not there. We're here in this moment. So to work with this anxiety, we want to bring ourselves back to this present moment and see with our eyes and feel with our bodies and our breath that we are actually safe right here in the present moment. So our mantra today for practice will be, I'm safe here in this present moment. So you can take a couple more moments to practice your orienting and know that it's okay if it feels hard. It's not easy at first, and it's something we work on, and then it becomes more natural. I am safe here in this present moment. And now you can bring your gaze back to just in front of you, and you can close your eyes now if you like, if that feels safe to you. I love closing my eyes. It feels very calming and relaxing, but some people find it better to keep them open. And just take a few breaths now that you've taken away sight to really feel, again, your hips, your legs, your feet, whatever's touching the ground, as well as your breath. I am safe here in this present moment. All is well. From here, you can bring your palms together at your heart and take a gentle bow of your chin towards your chest to set an intention for your practice. Maybe it's just to remind yourself that you're safe in this moment, or maybe you have something completely different that you're here for. So just listening to your own self, your own intuition as you set your intention. And then you can lift your chin and open your eyes, releasing the arms down. And if you've been crossed, if you had your legs crossed, one leg in front of the other, go ahead and switch so that we're evening out here. We're going to do a little bit more seated. And we're going to take another exercise for the nervous system. This is a vagus nerve reset. So actually these two things we've already done so far are a little bit outside the scope of yoga, but they fit perfectly into this practice. So you're going to take your left hand to the right side of your head and start with a little bit of a neck release. So you want to keep the face forward. So you're not going to turn your head. You're going to just go to the side. And then to make this vagus nerve reset that I mentioned, you're going to take your gaze, only your gaze, not turning the head, and look to the top left corner of your eyes. So you're looking, top right corner, opposite. So you're going to just focus your gaze to the top right corner. And it might feel a little awkward. And you're going to see about holding this gaze with your eyes until you either feel like you need to yawn or sigh or swallow. So when you've yawned, sighed, or swallowed, that's a sign that you're starting to come into a more relaxed parasympathetic nervous system state of your ventral vagal nervous system. And so notice, are you starting to feel that urge to sigh or yawn or swallow? I'm starting to feel a yawn coming on. So that's a good sign there, but it might take a couple of minutes. We're not going to do it for a couple of minutes right now, but this is something you could practice on your own. We'll just do a couple more breaths. You can bring your gaze to center, take your left hand and lift your head up just manually. And pause, feeling the difference of the neck with the two sides. And then we'll take the right hand to the left side of the head and we'll bring the head to the side. Again, you're not turning your head, you're just taking a side stretch. We'll start there and then you can bring your gaze to the top left. So taking your eyes only, looking towards the top left, and remembering your breath as you do this. So if you can even remember that orienting practice of feeling your body, feeling your breath, and seeing. It's a little harder to focus the gaze with the eyes turned this way, but you can try. And remember, our sign that we're ready to come out of the stretch is when we yawn, sigh, or swallow. This is great to practice if you feel anxiety or stress or tension. So we'll take a few more breaths here. Try to keep your gaze steady. I'm having a few yawns here myself, so I know it's working, but it's okay if it hasn't happened for you yet. It takes practice sometimes. And when you're ready, you can bring your head back to center. Release your arms and just pause for a moment, noticing how you feel. And opening the eyes again. One more seated pose. We're going to take your right hand towards your left thigh and take your left hand behind the back and come into a twist. If you're up high on a block, you might feel like it's harder to reach the ground, in which case you could temporarily remove the block, or you could place your hand on your back instead of the ground. So even though we're twisting to the left here, feel the belly move to the right. So the belly, you want to imagine like you're wringing something out here and you're going in two opposite directions. Belly to the right, twist to the left. If you would like to look back behind you, you can. Your neck might feel a little more comfortable to do that now that we've done that one neck stretch. And then we'll come through center and go over to the second side. Left hand to the right leg, right hand behind the back, and same idea, feel the belly move now to the left. It's not really gonna go anywhere, but it's that action of feeling like we've got two different directions working with our twist. And it might mean that you don't turn as much, but that's okay, because with our twist, we want to actually have the hips stay rooted while the spine and middle and upper spine especially twists. So the lower spine doesn't really twist very much. It's that middle and upper spine that we're working on. Maybe you look back and notice, can you feel your body in space? Can you feel your breath? Can you remind yourself that you're safe here in this moment? Can you focus on an object? From here, come to center, and then we're going to come onto hands and knees. If you have tender knees, you could place something soft under your knees. Otherwise, we'll just be on the hands and knees for a little bit. We're going to come into table pose, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Back is flat to start. And then as you inhale, press into your palms, lift your chest, take your head gently back, open your heart, spread your collarbones up. And then exhale, press down into the hands, round your spine, belly lifts in and up, chin towards the chest. This is our cat-cow shape. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, rounding the spine. I'd like you to move at your own pace. So another great thing for the nervous system is to feel a sense of flow. So today we're doing a slow flow practice, which is a little bit different than the gentle practices I've done mostly in the community. It's still pretty gentle. I'm always gentle, but it will be a little bit more active and a little bit more focused on movement. And so feel this flow. So you still go nice and slow, but you're feeling this flow, exhaling to round, inhaling as you come forward. Couple more times. Focus on feeling your body and feeling your breath and finding that gaze whenever it's relevant. You can come back to neutral, and we're going to sit back into child's pose. So you can take your toes together and your knees a little bit wider than your hips and sit back. If you have the ability to rest your head on something like a block or the mat or blanket, you can do that. Otherwise, you could stack your hands, one fist on top of the other, and rest your head on your hands. So give your head something to rest on. Feel your breath. So a lot of times when we're feeling anxious, it's partly because we're not focused on anything. We're really up in the mind and thinking and ruminating. And believe me, I know what that's like. And so we want to put our focus somewhere. It doesn't have to be the gaze or the breath, but it might be a task. It might be just practicing yoga or listening to a podcast or dancing, listening to music, doing art, just something that focuses your mind. If you can release your hands, we're going to extend the arms forward if they're not. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, and we'll come into downward dog. So you can have your knees pretty bent if you like. If you're feeling more open, you could start with your legs straight, but I recommend at least a little bit of a bend as you find this V shape. So we don't want to have the chest coming forward here. We're really pressing into the hands, like almost like you're trying to push the mat forward as you reach the hips back. Reaching your chest in the direction of your thighs, although they're not trying to meet the thighs, just moving in that direction. You can then bend your right knee and straighten out your left leg. Take a moment here as you really work into the left calf. But keep pushing into the hands. So sometimes we start to move forward here in this shape when we do that. Keep pushing into the hands. And then switch, bend the left knee, press down into the right heel, opening the back of that right leg. Staying focused on your breath if you can. So it's kind of like a never-ending practice of focusing on the breath, forgetting, coming back to it, forgetting, coming back to it. So if you find yourself forgetting, it's just a sign that you're human, and it's okay. Good. Come to center. You can have the knees bent or straight again. Take another breath. And then we're going to start to walk the feet towards the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold. So have your feet about hips distance. You can have your knees bent or straight. Maybe grab opposite elbows and let your head hang. Let your upper body hang over your lower body and feel for your inhale. And then a nice long exhale. You might even exhale through the mouth. Usually we'll breathe in and out through the nose, but sometimes it's nice to have a little sigh. Release the arms. We're going to slowly roll up to stand at the top of the mat. Head will lift last. You can relax the arms down by the sides. And then bring your left hand to your right hip. Left hand to left hip. Inhale, right arm up. And then we'll take a side bend. So see about keeping your hips facing forward. Like if you had headlights on your hips, they would still be facing forward. As you side bend, press into your right foot a little bit more strongly so that you keep your weight even here as you side bend. And then inhale up and switch sides. So right hand to right hip, left arm comes up and over the ear. Press now a little more into your left foot. It's so easy to start to turn the hips. Just keep them forward as much as you can. You might even have to feel like you're pulling the left hip back in order to keep them square. Good. And then coming back up, and we're going to do a little bit of shaking. So another great way I find to release stress and anxiety is by shaking. So we're going to start to shake. Now, if you feel like you don't have a ton of energy, you might shake very gently. If you have more energy and you're ready to let go of some stuff that's been going on, you might jump up and down. You could shake your legs. You could shake your arms over your head. You could really do anything here that feels good and is remotely like shaking. So you can jump up and down, hip side to side. Let it be whatever your body wants, however your body wants to move. So in the wild, when an animal experiences a trauma, they shake or they run and they let off their stress that way. But in our lives, we don't do that. So it gets stored. So it's a great thing to do when even right after something happens. It doesn't have to be an intense trauma, but something challenging happens, you have an argument or you're really stressed at work, take a few minutes and shake it off. Let it out. So a lot of the anxiety, the nervousness, the dysregulation gets stored in the body, so we need to move the body to let it go. So we're going to do this a little bit more. And once we stop, I always like to stop pretty quickly. So that's something we'll do a little more quickly. We'll stop and just hold still so we can really feel the energy that has shifted from this shaking. And in the last little bit here, if there's anything on your mind that you're like, you know, I really want to shake that thing off, allow it to fall away. Maybe think about something that you've been having anxiety about if you have been. I know I have a lot of health anxiety, so that's where a lot of my anxiety goes to. So I'm just imagining that is coming right off me. I am well. And we are safe here in this present moment. Right. So in the count of 3, we're going to stop and just hold. So 1, 2, and 3. Stop. You can keep your eyes open or closed. Closed kind of helps you feel the energy more. I feel a lot of energy, especially down my arms. Feel your breath. Notice what's shifting from this practice. Good. And then if you're not there already, let's come up to the top of the mat. You can have your feet again, hips distance. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. You can take a little back bend as you look up. And exhale, slowly fold all the way forward. Inhale, flat back, lift your chest. You can take your fingertips to your shins. Your belly lifts up, Collarbone spread open, you can look slightly forward. And as you exhale, we're going to plant the hands and take a big step back with just the left foot. So left foot steps back, you're framing the foot with the front foot with the hands. And this is called runner's lunge. Your right knee is right over your right ankle. And keep that back thigh active. Sometimes the back leg kind of gets relaxed here. We want to have it engaged. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep your focus. Find something to stare at. In yoga, that focus is called drishti. From here, plant the hands down, and we're going to step back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale to fold. Hands come down. Now we'll slowly take our time and step the other leg back, the right leg back. And now you're in runner's lunge on the second side. And see if you can remember that practice of orienting. Feel your body. Feel your breath. Find your gaze. So it's possible to practice in a way where your mind is off doing other things, and it will still do that sometimes. But when we really focus, that's when we get so much out of the practice. And really bring our mindful awareness to what we're doing. Our intention. From here, step back up, top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. And inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll do another exercise now to release some energy, and it's going to involve the breath. So take your feet together, big toes together, heels can be slightly apart. And we're going to bend the knees and come into chair pose. So if you're feeling like you don't want this to be too deep, you just bend the knees really gently. If you want to have more activity, more strength in the thighs today, you can bend the knees more. So this will be our inhale position. And we're going to exhale with a ha as we sweep the arms back. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, ha. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, ha. Couple more times. Go at your own pace. Imagine you can let go of what's bothering you, what's no longer serving you, as you exhale and sweep back. One more time. Ah. And then you can stand all the way up slowly, reach up, maybe touch the palms. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And take the arms by the sides. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, we're going to fold all the way forward. Inhale, flat back, hands to shins, lift the heart. And step one leg and then the other leg back into plank pose. Do this with your knees down or on your forearms if it's too much on your wrists. Holding for another moment. Stay focused. Breathe. And then you can drop the knees or keep them lifted as you lower all the way down to the belly. Come into Sphinx pose. So your elbows are going to be under your shoulders or slightly forward. And you want your forearms to be parallel as you lift the chest. Press into the tops of the feet. And feel your breath. Taking this gentle back bend. And then you can lower down and rest a moment. Take one hand on top of the other. Rest your forehead to your hands. you like, bend your knees and sway your legs side to side. Release the legs. And come back into Sphinx pose. And your option is to stay here. This is a great back bend. If you want to go deeper, you could press into your hands and lift your elbows. If you do that and it starts to pinch your low back or just not feel good overall, bring your arms back down. Otherwise, just hold here for a few more breaths, opening the heart. If the arms came up, the elbows came up, you can lower them on down. And then we'll rest again, one hand on top of the other, bend the knees, sway the legs side to side. Massage the thighs. I'm safe here in this present moment. I'm safe in my body. I'm safe in this space. Release the legs, take the hands under the shoulders. Come on to hands and knees, and then into downward dog. From down dog, you can walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into forward fold at the back of the mat now. And then inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. And inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. So here you're going to take a wide step out on your mat, taking your feet about 3 feet apart. And you'll turn your right toes forward, right heel in line with the left arch. Turn your left foot to a little bit of an angle as well. We're going to come into warrior two. So your right knee is going to be right over your right ankle. You don't want to stick your back hip up. You want to see about having if you had a belt, like your belt line to be just parallel to the ground and not back. And your arms can come out. You don't want to reach forward. You want to stay here in this present moment. Relax your arms, gaze forward. So this is a great pose, warrior two. It feels like a confident pose. Building confidence is important for anxiety. I had someone ask me, I've shared this maybe before, a doctor asked me what I thought the opposite of anxiety was, and I said maybe peace or calm, and he said no, it was confidence. And I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. Now I kind of see what he means. Good. From here, take a break up with that right leg, flip your right palm and reverse back. So take a reverse warrior. So we want to build our confidence with our yoga practice as another way helping with anxiety. So anxiety is just something sometimes we need to experience in order to build confidence to then move through it the next time. Come forward, bend that front knee, and you're going to rest your right elbow on your thigh, and then reach the left arm back, forward, and up over the ear, coming into side ankle pose. You can take your right thumb and pointer finger together and turn your left pinky towards you as you reach a strong line of energy from the left heel all the way to the hand. Keep that front knee bent. So I was talking with someone a couple days ago who was nervous for a different kind of job that they were doing for the first time. And I said, it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be anxious about it. In fact, it's normal. You haven't done it before, so you're going to be nervous. It's okay. It's okay. As you do it more, you generally feel a little better. And release that top arm. You're going to come up to stand. turn your right foot forward and then turn your left foot out. And we'll do this on the second side. So warrior two, left heel in line with the right arch. Now you're turning your right toes a little bit on an angle. Bend into that front knee so the left knee is over the ankle. Not sticking the butt back, but having a nice neutral pelvis, gazing forward. Developing some confidence here in this warrior two. Really firm that back thigh. So obviously the front leg is doing a lot of the work here, but let the back leg help out. Find your breath. Find that spot to focus your attention. And remember your intention. You can do this. That's another thing I like to tell myself. I can do this. I can do this. Notice that anxiety that maybe you're telling yourself you can't. You say, I can do this. So straighten the front leg. Reach the left arm now up and over the ear. Right hand can be on the right hip or the right thigh or back of the thigh. Try not to lock that front knee as you reach back and breathe into this whole left side. Staying steady on your feet. And then one more pose here. Come forward, take your left elbow to your left thigh, reach your right arm back first in front of you and then up and over your ear. Reach from that right hand to the right heel, really feeling that whole side stretching, nice bend in the front knee. Right pinky or right pointer finger and thumb can come together in a mudra. Notice if your mind's wandering, that's okay. Bring it back to the breath. And then inhaling, coming up, straighten out the leg, turn the feet forward, and then you can kind of hop a few times or step your feet together. And we'll come into tree pose. So one more standing pose here. You're going to balance on your right foot. Take your left foot either to your calf. You could make a kickstand with the foot, or you could take your foot all the way up to your inner thigh. Wherever you are, find that gaze. So that's really going to help. Find your gaze slightly, definitely forward and slightly down. And then you could bring your hands to your heart. You could take your arms up. What makes you feel confident in this pose? It doesn't have to be the hardest variation. We just want to choose the one that feels good and helps us focus, helps us balance. If the arms came up, you can bring the hands back to the heart. And then the arms and the leg down, and we'll shake out the standing leg. Give it a little shake. And then switch to the second side. So you can make that kickstand. You can place the foot on the calf. We try to avoid the knee joint, but you might place the foot up to the inner thigh. Bring your hands to your heart. Keeping the gaze steady. Feeling the breath. Maybe the arms come up. Totally optional. So yoga has been shown in studies to help with anxiety. And so we can come to our practice to find relief from the anxieties of life. And the more we practice, the more we'll feel that. So we can do yoga once and we might feel good. We might feel some release, but really a few times a week is gonna really make a bigger difference. I like to say every day, but it can be even for 10 minutes. The arms can come down. Maybe bring the hands back to the heart, leg can come down and release, shaking hands. Okay, from here, let's come on to child's pose. So give ourselves a little rest. And this child's pose, let's take the arms by the side. So the arms come with the palms up and we release a little bit more potentially in this variation. And just let yourself relax. So in your day-to-day life, if you're feeling overwhelmed, I find this is a great pose to do. It's easy for us to get overwhelmed. We're taking in so much from the environment and we're feeling so deeply as sensitive people. And so we want to have practices that we can go to, whether it's a whole yoga class or just one pose or just one exercise that we can do to help ourselves feel a little bit more at ease, a little bit more confident, safe in the present moment. And everybody's going to be a little bit different with what they feel helps them the most. So you experiment with different things and find what suits you. From here, you can lift your head, coming up to take your feet out from underneath you. We're going to come onto our backs. So you can lower down onto your back nice and slowly, resting your head. And we're going to take a gentle bridge pose. So have your heels under your knees. And slowly lift your hips. You can lift them just a little bit or a little bit more. You could clasp your hands underneath you if that's something that you tend to practice, but it's not necessary. Just opening your heart a little bit more here. Feel where your body connects to the ground as you breathe here. And then you can lower down. Sway the legs side to side. I'm going to do one more bridge pose. So again, planting the feet, lift the hips, maybe clasp the hands if you like, rolling to the sides of the shoulders, or you can just stay on your back, resting with your feet planted without lifting the hips. That's another great option. Take another breath or two. And when you feel ready, release down. And this time you can pull your knees into your chest. And here we're going to take figure 4. So you'll take your left ankle below your right knee. You can do this with your right foot on the mat if this feels pretty intense. Otherwise, you can lift your legs up and clasp your hand behind your right thigh or your right shin. Flex your left foot here so you're feeling a little press of your left ankle into your right leg. Opening the hips, and some hamstrings as well. For the last couple of breaths, you might just feel a little rock side to side. We know that rocking is comforting and soothing. That's why we rock babies. And we can rock ourselves too, to soothe ourselves. So a little bit of gentle rocking. And then let's release and switch sides, right ankle below left knee. Clasp the hands behind the thigh. If that works, you could keep that left foot down as well, or reach the leg up and clasp behind the shin. Flex the right foot, press the right ankle into the left thigh. Letting your breath be nice and relaxed now. And then we'll do that little bit of rocking if you did it on the other side and it felt good. Just gently rocking side to side. And then we'll release and hug the knees in. Extend your left leg out, just hug your right knee in, and we're going to take a spinal twist. So right knee is going to come over to the left. I'm not going to go all the way because my microphone's in the way, but you could roll more onto your left side. You could also stay a little more upright, and that will get a little more into your hip. As you move more to the left, you'll get more of a twist in your spine, so you can kind of go as far as feels good to you. If you're working with some back issues, maybe you don't go as far. Listen to your body. In all of my classes, I always encourage everyone to what I call listen to your body's messages with love. So honoring your body by following what your body is telling you. It's not going to lead you astray. Your body's giving you nice signs for what you need, how to take care of yourself. So you want to listen to those messages with kindness, with love, with understanding, rather than blaming ourselves for how we feel. We don't feel good. And from here, you're going to come to center, and now you can hug both knees in again. Extend your right leg out, draw your left knee in, and then move into your twist, rolling a little bit onto that right side, reaching that left leg to the right. You can keep the shoulder down so that left knee is not going to come all the way down and be pretty far up in the air. You could gaze to the side, you can gaze up. Remember to listen to your body with what feels right. I actually feel like listening to our bodies is one of the best ways to build confidence. When we learn to trust ourselves, trust our bodies, trust our intuition, we know that we can handle what comes our way. It builds self-trust and self-confidence. Let's take a couple more breaths. And then you're going to come back to center, even out your hips, and we're going to get comfortable for our final relaxation pose. So if you know that it feels better to you to have your knees bent and that feels better on your back, you could do that. Otherwise, you can straighten out the legs. Take the arms by the sides. If you have any props like a blanket or a pillow that you want to use, an eye pillow, allow yourself to get as comfortable as you can. And before we just completely let go, we're going to do one more little nervous system regulation technique that's great for anxiety. So you're going to take your thumbs and bring them to the inside of your palms and wrap your fingers around your thumbs. So like you're making a fist, but with your thumbs to the inside. And all you're going to do is on an inhale, you're going to very gently squeeze your right fist. And on an exhale, you'll release the squeeze. So it's going to be like the most gentle little squeeze you've ever done. And then you'll inhale to the left, gently squeeze. And exhale, let that squeeze go. Now you move back to the right. Inhale right and squeeze. Exhaling, releasing. And you're just going to go side to side at your own pace, making that squeeze so gentle that if I was looking at you, I might not even know you were doing it. Remembering to squeeze on the inhale and release on the exhale. If this is feeling soothing to you, you can continue with the practice. Otherwise, very slowly open your palms and just allow yourself to rest in stillness. Nothing left to do except relax. Take a moment to notice how you feel. If you're feeling really relaxed and you'd like to rest here longer, I encourage you to stay as long as you can. If you're ready to start to move, you can begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe bending the knees, drawing the knees into the chest. And you could roll over onto one side. Really moving slowly. So as you move slowly, you're able to keep the benefits of your practice with you. Don't want to rush. That's going to take away our relaxation that we've hopefully created. So from there, you can come up to sit. Sitting up tall, comfortable seat. Closing the eyes again if you like. And just feel any shift in how you feel now compared to when you began the practice. You can bring your hands to your heart and bow your chin to your chest, really appreciating yourself for taking good care of your body and your mind today through this practice. It's been an honor and a pleasure to guide you. Namaste. Thanks everyone so much for joining me. Again, my name is Christie Rosen, and I have an online yoga studio called Yoga for the Sensitive Soul, all for highly sensitive people. And as a gift for being part of this class and also for the others in the network, normally I have a 1-week free trial to my online studio, which has on-demand classes and live classes. But this time for a gift, I'm giving a 1-month free trial. So if you'd like to join that, there's a link for that in the description and of the class and in the event from today. And in that, I teach all different styles of yoga, from restorative to flow and in between. So if anybody has questions, let me know. So I'm going to end the recording and then we can chat afterwards.